Everybody, it's me, Lisa, again, here for another episode of In Vino Veritas. Today, I have a Chardonnay for you. This is called Bearhug. This is 2016. This is a California Chardonnay, and it retails for about $19. So, but it's got a cute little name, Bearhug. Oh, so anyway, let's see what this one's all about. All right. There's a very strong smell of green apples, which I'm not mad about. And Chardonnays can be kind of hard to nail down because a lot of their flavor comes from the actual process of making the wine, you know, when they're aged in the oak barrels and blah, 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 rather than the actual grapes. So, you know, I think they're just hard to nail down, that's all. But yeah, let's see what this one's got in it. So there's definitely a buttery quality to this one, which is pretty common in a Chardonnay. You can really taste those green apples a lot. And I also feel like I kind of got a hint of a smell of like leaves, but that seems like weird. So, but I think it's kind of like an herbal thing. I can't really pinpoint what herbs, but yeah, like herbs like rosemary maybe and a little mint, but not a lot. You know, like just herbs, mixed herbs. I'd also say that for a Chardonnay, this is pretty light. I've had Chardonnays that are, they are like butter, but this one is pretty light and crisp, and it's a nice kind of summer drinking wine. I would. I mean, you could eat it with the like usual stuff, the fish and pasta, blah blah blah. But I almost feel like this would be a good cocktail hour wine, where you could have this and some nuts and charcuterie, meats and cheese and veggies, and it would go really well with those things. And you know, they would kind of, especially the nuts. Like if you had like some smoked almonds or something like that, that could be really nice to go with this wine. So yeah, so that's how I feel about this one. I'm gonna drink some more of this, and then I'm gonna come back and tell you another true story. Okay, so I'm back and I've had some of this, and so we're ready to tell a little story. And this is a story about what an asshole I am and also about wine. So yay. So there was this one Christmas where I had asked for a laptop. That was all I wanted. It was the only thing I asked for. I was in college, and this was in the days before smartphones, so there was nothing that I could think of that would be better than lugging around an extra 7 pounds so that I could just check my email whenever I felt like it, because the whole campus was wired with Wi-Fi, but whatever. So I go home for Christmas, and we're opening presents, and my mom hands me a present that's the exact size and shape of a laptop. And let me tell you, I was so excited. I could not believe it, even though it was the only thing I wanted and the only thing I asked for. But I could barely contain my excitement. So I really just, I felt like I had won a car on The Price is Right or something like that. And so I gleefully tear into the package, and in my head I'm running through all the surprised faces in my repertoire. And then when I get to the box, it says it's a winemaking kit. So, okay, my stomach kind of turns into a knot a little bit. But I'm still hopeful because in my family, we recycle a lot of boxes. And so what you think is in a box is not necessarily what's actually in the box. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, well, maybe mom just took the laptop out of the box it was already in and put it in this box. And also, mom's making wine. Good for her. Um, so so I carefully open the little flap of the box and I peek inside and there are 4 green bottles in there and I realize that it is actually a winemaking kit. And um and I just sit there and I say it's a wine kit and I can't look up, I can't look at anybody because I have to hide my sheer disappointment in this gift. And then I I also have to hide my disappointment that my mother did not spend $1,000 on a fucking PowerBook G4. Um, and I know I'm an asshole. Um, like the biggest asshole on the planet. Um, and because here's the thing is that this isn't just a cop out gift. This isn't some like $20 gift card that she got as an afterthought at Target because she didn't know what to get me. It's not a knickknack. It's not something stupid. It's a gift that shows that she listens to me when I talk because obviously I love wine. I drink wine. I know how it's made. I have a fantasy of owning a vineyard someday. And so she's bought me this kit and it really shows that she was really thoughtful about getting it for me, and I feel like the world's biggest asshole because I wanted a laptop more. But I thank her anyway because of course that's what you do. And I think about how I'm going to get this into my luggage and I move on. And then a couple weeks later, I get the wine kit in the mail because she did have to mail it to me because it wouldn't fit in my luggage. And so I put it on the kitchen counter and I read the directions and then I put them away back in the box and I go to bed. And that box sits there for 6 months. And then one day I get back into the box and I take all of the things out of it, all of the ingredients, because it's a fully enclosed wine kit. And then I put the box down for another 8 months. And then I decide that it's time to move. And so I get the box out again and I have a few choices here. I can either give it away, I can pack it, or I can make it. And I don't really want to give away a thoughtful gift that would make me into an even bigger asshole if I gave it away. So, and I don't want to pack it, so I decide I'm going to make it. I'm going to make this wine and it's going to be fine. And so I go through the ingredients again, and I have a certain flexible relationship with recipes as evidenced in some of my previous stories. And I pull one out. And this is the thing with organic materials is they change over time. And by organic, I mean not plastic, not like non-GMO, blah, blah, blah. So there's all these chemicals that go in there. And so this one, it was supposed to be a liquid, it's gone. It has evaporated. So it is no more. And I figure, it was just like 75 milliliters. We won't miss it. It'll be fine. And then there's another one that was a liquid that has since crystallized. And so it's just like a bunch of little tiny crystals in this little bag. And I think, they'll dissolve as soon as they get into that wine. It'll be fine. And I might remind you, in college at this time. I'm in grad school, and so I live in a little studio. I don't know that anything has really changed, but I don't have a 6-quart double boiler. I don't have a big carboy water jug thing to put liquids in. And I still don't have a funnel, which, as you recall, may have been missing from one of my previous kitchen adventures. I do have a funnel now, I will say. So I have to improvise again because that's what I do. And so I borrow a crock pot from a friend of mine and I mix all these ingredients together, and then they're supposed to sit and brew or ferment for a while. So I do that, and then once the time is up, I take it and I put it in the bottles, which is so ridiculous really when I think about it. And there were labels and I slapped them on, and it was Lisa's Chardonnay, and I had made wine. And I felt amazing. I am a fucking vintner. I made wine. How amazing is that? And so, well, I may not be a vintner, but I made wine. And so I put it in the fridge, and then when the time came, I opened it up with a friend, and I have neither one of us has any idea what's about to happen. And so we're basically playing Russian roulette with our palates, and let me just say he's the bravest friend I've ever had. And this wine was absolutely terrible. Like the worst wine I have ever had in my entire life. And I don't know how good of a wine that you can get from a kit, but this was definitely not it. So, the crystals that I told you about, those were like floating at the bottom of every glass. And it was some of the sweetest, stickiest Chardonnay I have ever had the misfortune of tasting. But you know what? At the end of the day, I made that. And it was a gift that I made into something that I cared about. And I very stubbornly drank every drop of those four bottles that I made, and it was actually wine. And when it was gone, I went to the store-bought stuff because life is way too short to suffer for your art. So anyway, that's my story about making wine that one time. And drink happy, drink often, and we'll see you next time.